Old Orchard Beach used to be nice. There's wild Canadians coming down. Cutting loose. They think that LL Bean is their Giorgio Armani. Canadian. They're like, oh, honey, put on some Bean tonight. I'm wearing Bean right now.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Everybody, what's good with you? What's happening? Brad and Sean, the A and B show. Brad Tesh with me as always. Sean, the one and only Valancourt.
Hey.
Sean's always very fashion forward with his Toronto Raptors jersey underneath his Clippers jersey. It's Kawhi Leonard. He's trying to make a fashion statement. Anyway, we are coming to you live today from Whidbey Island. Welcome. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you, Sean. Good day.
Good day, Brad. Brad, was last week bananas there in the NFL?
Last week was bananas.
I'm telling you, my banana hammock wearing self was ready to dole out some banana squishing because it was just bananas this week.
The lot from Miguel the Grill over here.
I'm telling you, man, I wanted to come over and give you a bananagram. That's how much I was thinking about bananas.
I don't know what
this week,
bananagram is, but I'm intrigued.
Man, oh man, bananagram would be me and my banana hammock.
Sounds like a good time. Anyway, Sean,
Hey,
do you have any surprises from the week that aren't football related? Because we're gonna jump into that here in a second.
yeah, buddy. Texas Rangers winning all their road games into their first World Series.
Yeah.
That is a huge surprise.
You know, I think that it was nice to know the Mariners were the last team to beat the Rangers on the road. So
It should give you
we
some
have
sort
that.
of solace, right?
you get a banner.
Yeah.
I found out. Yeah, so that's good. We'll hang that on the Raptors.
We beat you.
Last team to beat the world champs on the road. What else do you want to say? Suck on that, Texas.
Yeah, but think about that. That's now the AL West really dominating the past few years.
Yep, that's why the Mariners can't win, because the AL West is so dominant. Yeah, that's why. Not because they don't want to spend any money. Anyway, let's get off of baseball.
Really, that much? That's how we're going to talk about the Rangers?
I don't want to talk about the Rangers.
They won every game on the road. That's huge.
Great, yeah. Screw the Rangers. I don't talk about them.
That's huge. That
Yeah.
is something that you never heard. But did you think, though, that this World Series... Do you think that there was a lot of excitement behind it? Just considering it was the Arizona Diamondbacks jumping in against the Texas Rangers. Probably not two teams that everybody was thinking. Two teams that had 100 losses last season as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a fun World Series. It definitely was entertaining,
Yeah.
except for the last game. And even then, it was entertaining until the end. Right? It was good. It was a good pitchers matchup until the 7th inning or so.
Yeah.
That's where the games were most of the way, right? There was some action. You know what I mean? So, as World Series went, I thought it was fun.
It was a good one, I thought.
Yeah.
Lots of XJs on both sides, really, of the ball.
Yeah. Which speaks more to your farm team's ability to find winners than it does to...
To grow them,
Yeah.
keep them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, your farm team can find them, right?
Yeah.
Your scouts can find them. Your GM just can't keep them.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption right there. Yeah, that's a safe assessment.
Yeah. You're the Blue Jays owner. You're looking at your GM like,
Man,
hey, we had those guys?
I know.
Why don't we have those guys?
It still ticks me off. We don't have Moreno as our catcher.
Yeah,
he's out in Arizona.
Overpaying for Vlad Guerrero.
You know, I don't even know so much about Vlad. I mean, Vlad. Yeah, I mean, you have him. You have George Springer that you overpaid for.
Sorry, we're keeping you up.
You know, sorry. And then Ryu, I think we're finally off that contract. Finally, jeez.
And then your famous Bo Bichette rant. You want to go on that again? Or
I love Bo Bichette's bat, though, man. But
how about his contract? For his defense?
I don't know, man. We'll have to see how this next season goes.
Anyway, congratulations, Texas Rangers. You still suck.
Wow.
Moving on. Week 7 in the, or week 8, I guess, in the NFL, we saw some craziness.
There was
Sean?
there were some scary moments, I think, for some teams.
Speaking of scary moments for some teams, how nervous were you for your Buffalo Bills on Thursday night? Let's go in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, I mean, not a great outing. I mean, quite honestly, you gotta be happy that you got the win. At the end of the day, though, it's a team that's struggling right now. I think they're middling, and I think we're finally starting to see something has to be done. I mean, I remember seeing something about during the trade deadline that they were looking to try to get themselves Devontae Adams onto the Bills.
Or Mike Evans.
Somebody, right? Because obviously, whatever's happening between Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, it's not enough. It's not enough. I mean, Gabe Davis should be a lot better than where he's along, and I don't know where Knox is at right now. Their tight end.
Hurt.
Yeah, you know, their defense is hurt. It's not pretty in Buffalo. It's not.
Is it ever? To be honest.
I mean, the city itself. I love Buffalo.
Do you?
Yeah.
The Wings.
The Wings.
We saw a good game in Seattle between Cleveland and the Seahawks there, if you're a fan
Right
of
down
defense.
to the wire.
Yeah.
Right
As
down
always.
the wire.
That's who Seattle is when they're winning.
Now, would it be that way if you were facing Deshaun Watson? That's the...
Oh, no, we would beat the tar off of him with Deshaun Watson.
You think so?
Deshaun Watson makes way worse decisions than that kid does.
Man, I don't know. That was a good game. I thought to
PJ
myself...
Tucker plays a better game than Deshaun Watson does.
Man, I thought to myself, though, that, Seattle was up 2 scores real quick.
Yeah.
And then just, that defense is grinding, man. And that could have went a totally different way.
Yeah.
Really, honestly, it could have, So Seattle should feel great. You have a quarterback that's able to manage those situations.
More importantly, if a defense able to get off the field.
That's exactly it. And really, I mean, now it's down to okay, what's happening with DK Metcalf? He is not producing this year at all.
Yeah, he was instrumental in the last 2 touchdowns, though, blocking.
Yeah.
What you went for him.
That's I guess
Being
that's
a great teammate, didn't draw any penalties,
yeah.
didn't hurt the team. Take that all day long.
There you go.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Geno Smith. He only has so many balls he can throw.
I don't want to talk about Miami and New England.
Yeah, we called that game.
Yeah.
The Jets.
So I thought
Goddamn
the
Jets.
Jets. I thought that they were going to pull it out, and they did. They did pull it out at home, or actually they were the road team, weren't they? In this one,
Yeah.
But
Who knew the kid from BYU was going to pull it out?
thinking about all the stuff they went through last season, and now he's here, and then I think everybody was expecting them not to be in a playoff situation, and he's done enough to keep
After the
them.
Aaron Rodgers situation.
Yeah, he's done enough to keep them in that situation. And if Aaron Rodgers is good to go by week 10, week 12, that's big, right? Even week 14, you've kept yourself in a position that you're still at least playoff worthy with that many wins right now.
Yeah.
So
We're going to find out.
it's great. Giants, there's a lot of questions, and they made that deal now to the Seahawks there for that mid linebacker there,
Or Leonard Williams.
Leonard Williams.
Defensive lineman.
Yeah, so I mean, the Giants obviously are going to be starting to rebuild. Obviously, they have to move on to the next season. So for that, I mean, Seattle gets a good piece, I think, on their defense. So good for Seattle.
The Giants also paying most of that salary.
Yeah, you
They just
can't
basically bought a 2nd round pick.
complain about that, right?
Right.
Now, Jacksonville over Pittsburgh. Like I said, Jacksonville, they're legit.
Yep.
They're on their way. Again, was that a big surprise? I don't think so. That kid in Tennessee there,
Will Levis.
Will Levis, 4 touchdown passes, 3 straight to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
You think they got their quarterback now? I mean, we saw him on Thursday night's game. I thought he did all right in Thursday night's game there as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think the kid has something.
Yeah.
That thing you can't measure. That you see the way he carries himself, and that's what you want to see in a quarterback. I don't. It's still a little early, but I think that might be the one
I mean,
for them.
yeah.
You like him better than you like Desmond Ridder, right, in Atlanta?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's an upgrade, actually, from Ryan Tannehill.
Yep.
Now, if you can get...
He's better than Mac Jones. You think about the young quarterbacks are around that that age and kind of the rebuilding spots. He's better than them.
Yeah, even Justin Fields right now, maybe.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of that same moxie that like Justin Herbert and Tua have, right? Where like there's something to them when they take the huddle. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a little Brock Purdy, you know what I mean? Just a little bit of there's something about how they command themselves that.
Now Derrick Henry needs to get over 100 yards rushing for this team to be effective, though.
I thought he did last night, though, didn't he?
No, 75 yards at the end of the day, and that's not enough. That's not enough to get
Have
it
you
done.
noticed? I mean, we've talked about Derrick Henry's struggles, but he also is not running between the tackles very much. A lot of end arounds for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a reason why, because that body's probably feeling it, because that's a hard game to play.
Yeah.
All right, this is my big surprise. Dallas Cowboys over the Rams, and not only over the Rams, but made Dallas look like a Super Bowl team.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah.
You don't think so? Like, that was
I
ridiculous.
mean, I saw Matt Stafford bend his middle finger back on his throwing hand to touch his forearm, so
Yeah.
when you remove that, I wouldn't say that Dallas looked great. I think they figured out something with CeeDee Lamb.
Probably, but
Putting him in the, moving him around and putting him in the slot a little bit, but
you got that going on.
the Rams defense is not great, so.
No, it's not. But is Dallas offense that great? That's
No.
well. Now you have to start looking. I mean, they have 2 losses that are against really bad teams, but the teams that they're supposed to show up against are showing up to.
No.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I don't know what to think of Dallas. They're kind of an anomaly.
They always are.
Yeah. This is the one here. Minnesota versus Green Bay. I think this one hurts the most because, they pulled up to 500, but now you lost your quarterback for the rest of the year.
They
And
traded for Josh Dobbs out of Arizona.
this is interesting trade, right?
Yeah.
So,
They must have seen enough on film to feel like he was an upgrade in their quarterback room.
well, I mean, you're 500. Honestly, I mean, are you even chasing for playoffs now, though, that you don't have a quarterback there? Justin Jefferson's still halfway injured.
I don't know.
I don't even know. I feel bad for the fans of Minnesota because
They would have started that rookie they have if they thought they wanted to see something for next year, right? They're going to start him this weekend. Well, they
I
get
guess-
Dobbs ready.
I guess we have to see.
I think if they were really going to try, though, they would have went. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's happening in Minnesota? But you got to be really concerned, I think, if you're in Green Bay.
Yeah. All right.
Because Jordan Love, despite what the Beatles have said, love is not the answer.
No. Love is not all you need. Yeah.
No. Thank you.
Love is not all you need. All you need is love? No. Love is not all you need.
No, not in this situation.
Yeah. It's pretty bad in Green Bay.
I thought New Orleans beating Indianapolis was interesting.
Yeah.
That game was an 11-point game, and it was. I don't even think it was that close.
No, and here's the thing is that you got to start, even though as bad as what New Orleans looked like, they're the ones probably coming out of the South.
Yeah, we thought they were the favorites.
Yeah,
South End.
they're the ones coming out of the South. They're probably going to make a playoff thing. And Alvin Kamara looks great.
Yeah, got fresh legs.
Yeah, like Kamara looks great. It's a great addition. It's something that I think Derek Carr needs.
You know what else they're getting back off injury that's going to be interesting to watch the 1-2 punch is that Jamal Williams. Dude, right? He was injured and is coming back too. And so they have that 1-2 punch between Jamal Williams and Alvin Kamara. And we've seen Jamal Williams be successful in that 1-2 punch. We know Kamara successful with the 1-2 punch, right?
Yeah.
Those guys getting and going together. If Michael Thomas can stay healthy and do his thing.
And that's the thing is that Michael Thomas, we're barely hearing anything from this
But he's
season.
still being pretty solid.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not a bad season, but
Yeah, not Michael Thomas.
Yeah,
numbers, but
exactly.
Still solid numbers.
yeah.
So interesting to see what happens in New Orleans. I don't think they're a contender, but definitely they're coming out of the South.
Yeah.
Philadelphia gave it to Washington, but not.
Did they give it to Washington? Because Washington made it interesting, I think.
I think they made it interesting, but I think
Yeah.
that they were having it given to them, so they weren't.
That was an interesting game.
That's one of those games where the score is an indicator of the game as a whole.
Yeah. But I also said that Washington shows up to play.
Yeah,
The
they
Eagles.
scored 31 points on
Yeah.
that vaunted Eagles defense.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's, I think that's really this, you noticed, I think that the Eagles' real question marks are going to be on defense.
Yeah. And then
If they're going to be able to repeat, in the Super Bowl is can the defense hold water? Because they couldn't hold Sam Howell.
No. But we're going to see coming up next week there. Philadelphia's got a playoff team that they have to go up against.
Yep.
We'll have a look at that there. Baltimore, Arizona. Do we even have to talk about this? I mean,
No.
quite honestly.
Another game the score doesn't match the effort.
Yeah. Denver, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Now that one
Yeah.
is something to talk about.
I think as soon as you saw Patrick Mahomes had the flu on Saturday, but he was going to play, I think
They're setting it up.
felt like it.
It felt like a setup.
Yeah.
Did you see that there's a metric out there right now of the games that Kansas City has won with Taylor Swift in the crowd, and the
Stop.
games that they have lost without Taylor Swift in the
Yeah.
crowd. So they are 500 without Taylor Swift, and they're undefeated when Taylor Swift is there in attendance.
Yep. Taylor Swift effect is real.
You know,
Someone better pony it up. She gets $1 million a show.
You don't need, yeah, exactly. You don't need to be there. The performance, Kansas City is there starting to give some money out to Taylor Swift. Just please come
Yeah.
into the game.
Yep.
Come on. Are you coming to the game, Taylor?
Come on, Taylor. Come celebrate.
We really want to see you there. I understand, but come on.
She got
Your
creeped-
man
she got-
needs you.
She got creeped out by Jackson Mahomes. She didn't want to-
He was close. He was close in
He was
there.
creeping.
He was close to her. Oh my gosh. Isn't that a guy right there that's just like riding on the coattails of fame and success of his brother?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of a worse brother.
Well, there's Bill Clinton's brother, maybe.
I don't remember seeing him being a creeper like that.
Maybe not as creepy. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't remember. No one else's brother comes. Maybe Donnie Wahlberg. But at least he was.
Donnie
doing
Wahlberg
something.
was not creepy, man. He was. He was a good actor. I liked him in
Donnie
some.
Wahlberg strikes me as a guy who would introduce a girl and be like, she just turned 18.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Maybe not.
Oh, okay. So that was huge. Cincinnati over San Fran.
San Francisco on a 3-game losing streak.
3-game losing streak. This is.
Makes me happy to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, Seattle's number one in the West.
Who would have thought?
Seattle's number one. And I think we're starting to see with San Fran, you don't have Deebo Samuels. You don't have all those options. And you really are starting to really pass rush
Yeah.
Brock Purdy.
Tapes out.
It's bad news over there. And I think Cincinnati, like I said, winning that game against Seattle, that was a really turning point in order to get up to 500. And
Yeah.
now I
And
think
Joe
that they're
Burrow
on.
finally got healthy.
That's exactly it. I think that they're on that trajectory right now where it's like they're just on all systems.
They
go.
are who we thought they were going to be, which is, good for them.
And I don't even want to talk about Chargers and the Bears. I mean,
Was there a worse game of the season or the week? For me, that was the worst game of the week.
And then of course, then we have Detroit, Las Vegas, which come on.
I'll still run through a wall for Dan Campbell.
Yeah, absolutely. But you notice what happened right after that, though? What you and I
called
were
it.
talking about?
We called it.
McDaniel's gone.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing that happened during this bye week is that McDaniels, the GM, and the offensive coordinator all got
Gone.
from the Raiders.
Gone. And I think there's a metric on that, too. Something like 8 different head coaches over the past 2 decades.
The Raiders right now are paying $120 million in GM and coaches that are no longer with the team.
That's insane. It's not a winning combination at all.
Old Bullcut needs to turn the reins over to somebody else.
Yeah, it's bad news over
How much
there.
money he's making?
Wow.
Imagine being that terrible at your job and you just rake in money.
Jeez. But I think somebody was saying there as well, because Vegas, since they moved to Vegas, that you don't have that same Raiders. Like, if you went to Oakland, you were playing, you have that Raiders diehard nation in there. Where now it's kind of like, I'm going there because I can see a game with my team playing there in Vegas while I'm there in
Yes.
Vegas on vacation.
But, yes, right. But there's still a rabid fan base.
Yeah, but I don't think it's as strong as what it once was.
In the stadium, I agree.
Yeah.
But
Overall, yeah, Raider Nation. I'm not saying Raider Nation's dying. I'm
It
just
sounded
talking
like-
about.
in the stadium itself,
Yeah. The
we're gonna
stadium
find out.
itself, it's like, I feel that is not Raider
I
friendly.
got a cousin who's a big Raider fan. He has season tickets. I'm gonna go down and check out a game. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, because that's the metric I keep hearing there is like how so many people are just buying tickets that are fan base of another team.
It was. I have a couple of friends of mine who it was cheaper for them to buy a ticket in Vegas, fly to Vegas, stay in Vegas, see their team play in Vegas, and fly back home than it was for them to watch.
Last year, Lampton talking about going to see the 49ers in Vegas.
Yeah.
And just talking about, we're going to get a flight, a cheap
Yeah,
flight,
cheaper.
it's cheap ticket. It's like, why not?
Yeah, cheaper to see them down there.
Yeah, it's all catered towards that. So I'm not saying Raider Nation is dead. I'm just saying in that football arena is not.
Thanks for clearing that up, because I would hate for you to get beat up by Raider Nation.
Yeah, no, Raider Nation's very alive and well. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're on with that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think you're trying to fan the flames towards that.
I'm not.
now.
I was
It's
trying
like,
to
holy.
I was just making sure we clarified it, just in case we're out in public and we don't have a misunderstanding. That's all. I mean, why don't we be a part of no
It
misunderstanding?
just sounds like you're just there still trying to fan those flames. It's like, hey
sir.
man, I just
No.
tampered it all out. All right, no need to.
Maybe in Canadian you tamped it out. I was trying to clear it out in America.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's get into week 9.
Yeah.
Hard to believe we're here, week 9.
I mean, it's halfway through, right?
Yeah, it's still got
We're at the halfway
another
point.
9 weeks to go.
We're at the halfway point.
Yeah. So we had obviously Pittsburgh beating Tennessee.
Yeah. Tennessee just cannot win on the road.
Can't win on the road. You don't have Derrick Henry getting over 100 yards. You're up against a stellar defense. You got a rookie quarterback. It's a perfect recipe for, not winning. Now, having said that, Tennessee played their hearts out and we're in that game.
Yeah. Had a shot at the end.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is not blowing the lights out with that offense. It is strictly that defense. And
They
that's the
still
thing.
have a rookie quarterback.
You got Cameron Hayward and you got, he came back to play, and you got TJ Watt.
Yeah, you have
Unbelievable.
Alonzo Highsmith.
But he's having an unbelievable season right now.
Yeah.
TJ Watt. Like, this defense is stellar.
Is he get a sack last night after getting his helmet ripped off?
It's absolutely insane.
Man.
It's, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't even want to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I want to watch that defense.
I do. I want to watch every Steelers game.
That
Only for
defense
that.
is so good. It's like that and the Browns defense.
I've said it before. I'm a huge J.J. Watt fan. I thought J.J. Watt was maybe the best defensive player we've seen.
Even now, you got to start looking at his brother. You got to start
I
going.
don't know that J.J.'s the best Watt brother.
Yeah, it's scary to look at.
And I watched Lawrence Taylor play football. Lawrence Taylor was a phenomenal football player.
Unbelievable.
And I look at it in areas of game. I think that what J.J. Watt was able to do in today's NFL with the training and the size. I mean, look at the sheer size of offensive lineman versus when Lawrence Taylor played. Like, that's how I kind of gauge those things. Right? Lawrence Taylor was a freak.
Was.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Right? Reggie White, freak.
Yes.
Right? But they're also the same size as the offensive lineman.
Right.
Nowadays, you got these, 6'7", 330-pound offensive linemen that do ballet. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. But there's still something to be said about freakish talent.
yeah. What do you watch? Javon Curse? Remember Javon Curse? Just that specimen of a human being.
Yeah.
So, but TJ is,
Yeah.
man,
Unbelievable.
maybe
Like,
one of the best.
him and Miles Garrett, I think, are like, they both look like they just
Yeah.
got made out of a lab.
Yeah, I still hate Myles Garrett, but as a football player, he's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. You still love or hate him.
Yeah.
He's got to be one of the best things to watch out there on that field.
Yeah.
Him and TJ Watt, I mean, just must-see football. It really is.
It is.
All right. Seattle, Baltimore. Here's a test.
Yeah,
Here
Baltimore
is a test.
6-point favorite. If we're talking about points, I like Seattle with the points. I don't think it's Baltimore by a touchdown.
You don't think?
No.
So
I think this is a defensive game, and I don't. As good as Lamar is, they don't have the weapons to get around the Seattle secondary.
we maybe don't need to though. If you
What are they gonna do?
If you have Lamar rushing for 80 yards,
No, they'll
it's
put a
like,
spy on him and give him. Jamal Adams is going to spy him and stick him. That's not gonna work.
I think it's
Mobile
interesting.
quarterbacks have never been Seattle's demise.
Yeah, I think for this game it's going to be interesting because I don't think you have anything. I mean, you have Kenneth Walker, who's unbelievable, having a great season. Honestly, I mean, Seattle's offense is not. You're not going to be wowed by it, but their defense is good, right? So they're going to keep you in that ball game, and if you can just dink and dunk a few passes here and there, you still have some quality wide receivers. You have a quality.
This is a
running back.
2017 game either way.
I agree. I think it's a field goal win. I don't think it's 6. But I got to be honest. I don't know. Like Seattle, they scare me when they have to go up against a really tough team.
Baltimore is 15-2 in their last 17 games against the NFC.
Okay. So that's something.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Listen to my words. I like the points.
Right. So you're saying three for Baltimore.
I
is
think
what you're
Baltimore
saying.
is, I think it's 2017
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
I
you're
want
right
Seattle
about
to
that.
win, but if you want me to bet it,
Yeah.
I'm still taking the points.
Yeah,
right?
I think you're right on that too. I think it's a smash mouth game. I think it's going to be a really good football game. We'll see. And then what happens though? What happens after this? Is you see Lamar Jackson throws for 4 touchdowns. What do you say then?
I don't know. I have to see it. I don't believe it.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I just Seattle secondary is pretty stout. I don't know.
It is.
I don't know that they have the weapons to do it.
You know, but Baltimore. I mean, the thing is that Mark Andrews is having a good season
Yeah.
right now. So we'll have to see what happens. I mean, honestly, we have to see what happens there. It has to play itself out, but it's a game that you really want to watch
Yeah.
because it's going to be a good one.
Maybe the best early game.
You know.
The early game though coming out of Germany is Miami and Kansas City.
Yes.
Kansas City a 1.5 favorite.
1.5.
It's gonna be a track meet.
Yeah. It depends on what kind of Kansas City we see coming out of there. If it's that same Kansas City,
It won't be the Kansas City we just saw in Denver.
you know, like I don't think in Denver, but they have now. That's 2 games he dropped. Now this is Miami's second really biggest test.
Yeah, I think it's Miami by a big number. I think Miami's gonna put the AFC on notice this week.
Wow. So here's the thing: all of Miami's losses have come to teams above 500. This is a team above 500. This is a team who just got embarrassed by Denver. Give me a touchdown for KC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Arizona, Cleveland in Cleveland. Cleveland's a 10-point favorite.
Yes, and I will take the 10.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Not much more to say about that.
I will take the 10.
Tampa Bay visiting Houston. Houston's a 3-point favorite.
You know what? Until Baker Mayfield starts showing me some more stuff, give me Houston.
Yeah, Houston's defense is legit.
And what is it, 3 points or 10?
Yeah.
3 point? Yeah, I'll take the 3.
3 points for Houston.
I'll take the 3 as well. Houston gets 500. They're back on the winning ways. Tampa, I think, is wow. It's hard to believe, but you can't win games if you're going to be throwing away the football like that, not like turning it over, just not playing well, as well as what you would think with the offensive weapons that are there available to Baker. I want him to do well, but the thing is, though, is that this Houston team has turned it around, I think. Even if they do lose this game, who cares at the end of the day? I mean, your building blocks are there. You're going to keep going. But I think that they're going to want Tampa. They're going to want Tampa, and they're going to want to beat them. So, yeah, give me the field goal.
I don't
for
think
Houston.
anyone in Houston is willing to take moral victories right now.
I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Chicago visiting New Orleans. New Orleans is an 8-point favorite.
What can you say about that? I mean, is Justin Fields going to throw for 4 touchdowns? Like we
Does it matter?
Like, you know, like,
Does Taysom Hill throw for 4 touchdowns? I mean, I think it's as likely,
you know, I think,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, it feels like we're due for a Taysom Hill game.
you know, yeah, New Orleans got this all day. 10 points? I don't know.
I don't know if it's by the points. I think New Orleans wins.
Yeah.
I don't trust New Orleans defense enough to keep them out.
Yeah, but you got, like we were just talking about Alvin Kamara and that running game. We were just talking about Michael Thomas finding his legs, you know. I don't know. And then, like, let's just say you have Taysom Hill in there.
Derek Carr doesn't do Derek Carr things till week 15 and later.
Yeah. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
I think
He'll-
New Orleans
he'll
got
do good.
this.
Moving on to Atlanta. Minnesota's going to come in. Atlanta's only a 3.5 point favorite here, which feels real light considering Minnesota's going to start a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, but what does that tell you about Desmond Ritter then?
Desmond Ritter's not going to play.
No, who's playing then?
Whoever they brought him in, whoever they benched him for during the game last week.
Cheapers.
They haven't switched it.
So there's what you're talking about right there. Is that you have an unproven quarterback against an unproven quarterback.
Yep.
You're at home. Give me Atlanta 3.5.
Yeah, I'll take Atlanta too. Atlanta's defense is better than Minnesota's defense, and
Yeah.
I think that's the 10 o'clock game no one's going to watch.
Yeah.
Green Bay's hosting the Rams. Green Bay's a 3-point favorite. We're not sure if Matthew Stafford's going to play.
I think. Is Jordan Love due for another victory, you think?
If he's going to get another one, it's going to be against the Rams.
Yeah.
Their defense is terrible outside of Aaron Donald.
Is very true. I don't
If
have
Matt
any
Stafford
faith.
doesn't play,
I mean, you have Cooper Kupp, you have all these guys there, and I can't believe I'm going to go for the
Nick
Green
Bauer.
Bay Packers. It's like,
depends on who's throwing. It all depends on who's throwing it to him.
like I'm going to go for Green Bay in this one.
They didn't throw well last week.
I don't know what
Vegas
else to
has
say.
to know something, right?
I'll give me Green Bay, and by the points, I think they pull this one out. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe I'm doing that. It's like, oh, it feels so gross. It feels so gross.
It does. I'm taking Green Bay only because I'm not going to take NFC West teams.
Right.
The Washington Commanders are visiting the New England Patriots. Patriots are 2.5 point favorites here. I think the Commanders walk over them. I don't know how New England gets back on the boat. I think New England's desperate for a top 10 pick this year. And
Yeah.
maybe a coaching change.
I think Washington beats them. And he says 2.5 for New England.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I think Washington beats them handily. Yeah, give me the Commanders in this one. Yeah, handily.
Belichick's out after the year, right?
We'll have to see. I mean, how much sentimentality does Bob Kraft have towards him at
None.
that point? You know, man has got you 6 Super Bowls.
Who has a worse coaching tree, Nick Saban or Bill Belichick?
You think Bill Belichick has a terrible coaching tree?
Yeah.
What are we looking
Who's
at?
the good one?
I'm trying to think right now.
Brian Flores, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. Vrabel is a good one. I like Vrabel.
A good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels, Charlie Weiss. Who's the fat guy with the beard that went to Detroit and now is back in?
Oh my gosh, I know you're talking about. Why can't think of his name?
Brian something or other.
I forget his name.
That's
too.
his name, yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
Patrice.
about. No, it's not that. It's
Brian Patrice. Matt
No.
Patrice. Patricia.
Patricia.
Yeah. Matt Patricia. Brian Patricia.
No, it's a Matt or a Pat. Pat
Not
Patricia.
Pat Patricia.
Matt Patricia or Matt
Yeah.
Patricia, something like that.
It's Patricia.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
not great.
Yeah, I mean, Sean McDermott, where did he come out of?
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah. Where did Sean McDermott come out of?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not sure. If
I don't think Bill Belichick.
No,
though.
probably Andy Reid is one of them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I don't know. Enough talking about Bill Belichick. Yeah, he probably is gone. I mean, I don't even know what you could do. Why did he take the GM role on as well as head coach? I don't know.
That doesn't. Where does it work?
Yeah, it hasn't. So, you know, you might as well let Tom Brady pick up those reins there as GM.
I think that works either. Moving on. Indianapolis visits Carolina. Indianapolis, a 2.5 point favor on the road.
Yeah.
Indy got their first win last week.
Carolina got their first
That's
win.
what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, thanks for the correction.
Yeah, Carolina did get their first win. I don't think they get to their second win against Minshew. I think Minshew, he's hungry for a win. He's hungry for one, you know. So, yeah, I'll go with the 2.5
Yeah.
for Indy in that one.
Yeah, I think they win big. Las Vegas is going to host the New York Giants. Las Vegas 2.5 point favorite at home.
Man,
Daniel Jones is slated to play in
He
this game,
is.
which is big since Tyrod Taylor's not available.
And
The
also,
Las Vegas Raiders are going to start Adrian Connell
That's right.
instead of Jimmy Garoppolo. I have the Raiders here because I think what you're hearing from Antonio Pierce, who's the interim head coach, is that the team loves him, and I think there's an initial boost of
I agree.
energy there.
So here's what I'm thinking is that Devontae Adams is going to get the ball a lot. I think
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs is going to run a lot. And I think the team is going to vault over and I think it's going to be a drubbing, actually.
Yeah,
Like, I don't even think it's close.
yeah, and just in this week.
Yeah.
Next week's a whole new week. but
No
this
whole
week-
new week. I just think it's not close.
But this week, I think so.
I think
freedom,
it's red.
right?
There's red blood. Like, there's blood in the water.
Yeah.
And the Sharks are swimming. They're at home.
This is a freedom game.
Yeah. Giants are probably like, they have no idea what they're about to go into.
Yeah.
They could be reading the same headlines, but it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because this Vegas team is angry, I think.
Yeah.
They want to win. So
The quote that I read this week coming out of Las Vegas that struck me was, they're not walking on eggshells anymore.
right.
And I just thought, man, if this team's going to play with freedom and off leashes, watch out.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because so when you're playing to just keep your job, and let's face
Yeah.
it, that's what Josh
Yeah.
McDaniels is doing the past little bit. And you saw the frustration on Devontae Adams when he's throwing his helmet down because
Yeah.
he's
Well,
just not
even
getting
post-game.
passes. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So yeah, I think he gets the ball early and often, and I think Josh Jacobs runs the ball, and I think it's a drubbing. It's a drubbing there tonight.
Yeah.
Well, this weekend. Sorry.
Dallas and Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, Philadelphia's a 3-point favorite at home.
Hey, this is the game, right? For NFC dominance, like that NFC East. I think to myself, if Dallas really wants to be that team, then everybody wants to talk about that offense. Everybody wants to talk about that defense. Everybody wants to talk about how good Dallas is. You got to beat Philadelphia. You got to beat them at home.
Dallas wins are going to be so insufferable.
I totally agree. But that's what has to happen. And quite honestly, do you know what Jalen Hurts' record is against teams in the regular season that have winning?
I don't, but I'm
games?
impressed you did homework.
9-0 against winning record teams. So, good luck, Dallas. You're playing in Philadelphia, and it's a team. I mean, you got a quarterback. It's not some Matthew Stafford, old over the hill quarterback here. This is now a young kid out there who could run and gun. And you're going to tell me
I
that
got the horses.
that's exactly it. Plus, they have the defense.
Yeah, because Dallas's defense is still riding on some old wheels.
Absolutely. I mean, okay,
I don't know.
Stephon Gilmore, very good. You picked yourself up for 2 weeks there. That's
Yeah.
great. We're only mid-season.
With one-dimensional teams, though, right? That's the
Exactly.
thing. Who are you gonna cover on Philadelphia? You got Devontae Smith and you got AJ Brown.
yeah. Not including also the what's his face there on tight end as
Dallas
well.
Goedert?
Dallas Goddard. Plus, on top of that running system that's
You got
going. Plus, if you
DeAndre
add
Swift in the backfield.
yes, and then if you add just Jalen Hurts running the ball
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
this is too much. And you're gonna tell me that this Dallas, like Micah Parsons and Stephon Gilmore, is your horses that are gonna compete against this? And no offense against Micah Parsons, I love Micah Parsons. I already said I think he's a great football player.
But they just gave up 28 points, right? 24 points to the Rams.
Yeah, which is
The Rams.
Yeah, exactly. So here we are with a team that can stop you.
Yeah.
And they could probably pick you and
Probably
sack you.
should, yeah.
You know, this is a test. This is a test right now, and who's going to come out? Like I said, Jalen Hurts 9-0 against teams over 500 in the regular season. Now, if you count the Super Bowl, 9-1. So
We won't count Super Bowl.
yeah,
Moving on to the night game, we have Buffalo traveling to Cincinnati. Cincinnati 2.5 point favorite. Sean, your thoughts? A scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you?
I'm a realist. I said
So what's that on a scale of 1 to 10?
1 to 10. Listen, Cincinnati wins this game. They beat Seattle. That was a game for basically for all that momentum. If you beat Cincinnati there, that momentum is crushed. Now it's like we got to play harder and everything. They're on, like, have a look. I think they're 500 right now.
Cincinnati's 4-3.
4-3.
Yeah.
They're up against they're up against Cleveland, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. All of them with winning records.
AFC North, best division in football, probably.
That's exactly it. And you're going up against a very good Buffalo team, but a Buffalo team really in the past 4 games that has struggled.
On the road.
Struggled.
On the road.
Yeah.
In night games.
They have struggled.
Josh Allen's not great.
So, give me Cincinnati. And I think the 2.5, like 3 points, I think that's what it is. I think it's going to be a running gun game. It's going to be high scoring. And because none of these teams have defense.
I don't think that your team can keep up with Cincinnati's. I don't think the Buffalo defense can keep up with Cincinnati's offense.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a high scoring affair. It's going to be it's going to be won by a field goal, and it's going to be Cincinnati's. Because I just think right now at this juncture, as much as I love Josh Allen, Joe Burrows is the better quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you even argue against that?
Joey B.
I love Josh Allen,
Joey B.
but Joe Burrows is the better quarterback in this.
When was the last time you slept in your Josh Allen jersey?
Stop it now. We don't talk about these things.
Then the capper of the week is the Los Angeles Chargers are visiting the New York Jets. The Chargers are favored by 3.5 points on the road.
How important is this game for both teams?
I think it's huge for both teams.
Yeah.
It gets the Chargers, it gets them to 500 if they win. And for the Jets, it keeps them in the running for the AFC East because let's see, they're 4-3 now. Buffalo's 5-3. I think, we're looking at Kansas City. I'm sorry, Miami's 6-2, so they're chasing them. And then New England's 2-6 and out of the race. So, they're chasing Buffalo for the 2 spot. So
yes.
If Buffalo were to lose Sunday night, this is a chance for the Jets to tie them for second place and be right up there for the lead and make the Aaron Rodgers comeback possible.
Now that Jets defense, we've already seen it. It's a very good defense.
Yep.
They're keeping them in football games where you don't need to chuck it down the field.
Yep.
You just got to be smart with the football.
Yeah.
And it was
This
Zach
team was
Wilson.
built.
Exactly.
Right? This team wasn't an Aaron Rodgers savior game or team. This was a team that Aaron Rodgers was coming into to complete,
That's right.
not to save. Right? We got to keep that in mind. The Jets team, the Jets have been bad for so long that it's easy to dump on them.
Easily. Yeah.
But it's a really well constructed
It
team.
really is. And defensively on that side of the ball, it's a team. I mean, they're keeping them around in football games. Just for that one little over the hitter, right? And so
And the Chargers have been terrible on offense.
they have been this year.
Underperforming.
They have been this year. Mind you, it could just be at any moment when they just click it all on,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
So it's a scary
But
proposition.
is that the thing though? The West Coast team goes all the way to the East Coast, and that's their get right game.
no,
rarely
that doesn't
happens.
feel like it. It
It
doesn't feel
rarely
like
happens that a team goes to the opposite
Yeah.
goes for a get right game.
it. Now,
right?
who's it favoring? Is it the Jets?
No, the Chargers are favored by 3.5.
I think they got this wrong because I think the Jets could pull this
Yeah,
out.
I think the Jets win.
I think they could pull this out on Monday night.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is like close your eyes, no problem. It's a snoozer, Chargers all over them. I think this is
Yeah, I would argue it might be the other way.
this is wake up, smell the coffee. This is a team that wants to make the playoffs. They're playing like it every week.
Yep.
Every week the Jets are playing like that. Like they want to make the playoffs. This is the
Right.
way you do it. This is the way you do it. Everybody wrote them off. And here they are. They just keep showing up, playing enough on defense so that your offense has a chance. And you can't write these guys off anymore. Vegas is trying to write them off into existence. Like, just, whatever, 2.5 to Los Angeles. Los Angeles doesn't show me anything to say, yeah, you got that all day. No. Give me the Jets. Yeah. Touchdown.
It's crazy that the team with the worst record is the favorite on the road.
Yeah, it makes no sense, doesn't it? It makes no sense. It's like, this is... If I was Zach Wilson or anybody on that Jets team reading the Vegas odds, I'd be so offended. This is what you're doing. This is what you're saying about us. And we've been doing this all season. Keep doubting us. Maybe they're feeding off of it. Keep doubting us. We're going to make it. You know?
And you're about 2 weeks away from buying Jets jersey, aren't you?
Not at all. Not at all. But I mean...
You are passionate today, my friend.
I'm just saying that's a silly Vegas call. It's
Finish
like,
this sentence. Jets.
Nah, I'm not going to do that again. What is this? What is this here? I have no idea. This shit is bananas. BNANAS.
Sean, you want to talk about anything in the NHL?
Yeah. Have you been watching it all, Brad? Have you been watching?
I've been watching Philip Grubauer destroy my team single-handedly with his terrible goalkeeping.
Oh my gosh. Have you been watching Jack Hughes tearing up?
Nope.
No. You're missing something there, my friend. Have you been watching Vegas just coming out and just Montreal and their start? What in the world? This is supposed to be a team not competitive. They're competing. Unbelievable.
It's almost like they're paid professionals.
It's not even just that, man. It's like, so you have teams that are there with their big names and big, like Edmonton with McDavid and Draisaitl, and they can't get off. They can't get off the ground, right? It's like, meanwhile, Boston, who just decides, we don't need you, Krejci, we don't need you, Bergeron, and they go out there and they are having an unbelievable start right now. You can't. It's topsy-turvy this NHL season. You can't even put your finger on it. Goaltenders at a premium. I've never seen goaltending so horrible this season.
Yeah.
Like, goaltending is horrible all the way around.
It's like they're putting pig grease on the puck or something.
It's not even that. Are you going to tell me that right now they're saying the scoring is probably going to be an all-time low in the past decade, right? Which means at least still over 100 points. Thank God, right? But how can you say that when goaltending looks like it's an all-time low as well? When guys are like, you're doing a good job at a 90% save average. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like baseball scores rolling across the ticker every night when I'm watching real sports.
It's crazy. Like, there's no more defense. So the only 3 teams that are going to be defensive stalwarts all season long: Vegas, Colorado, and Carolina. They are going to be the teams, as far as defense gets in there, that are going to be the teams to be tough to beat if they have a lead going into that. Having said that, then, we have a look at these teams that want to be good, like Columbus, doing okay. Philadelphia, punching way above their weight category. Montreal, what in the world? They're doing unbelievable. Then you have the teams that everybody thought was going to take that next jump, and it just hasn't yet, like Buffalo. Pittsburgh, they all thought with all those signings are going to be so much better. And then yet, I see Carlson cough up the puck to basically hand the team the win. And it's like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what happens when you have these teams that play these systems that have been, they're just so old. These guys are so old. Like, even now, we're looking at the breakdown of Alexander Ovechkin, where people are even doubting if it's going to make 40 goals this season. Now, he doesn't have to, right? But if you're chasing Wayne Gretzky's goal record, you definitely want to be on that pace for 40 goals, because otherwise it means you have to keep coming back and playing, right? And you can see he's just a step every now and then. It's a step a little slower, is what it was. You see flashes of it, but 38, man, it's a hard game. Go out there and be that consistent, night in and night out. So I don't know what in the world's going on. We're going to have to wait for a little bit. We're already 10 games in, and we're starting to see who could be emerging out of here as, like, real favorites. Seattle is not off to a great start. They're off to a pretty hard start right now. Not to say that it's the end of it either, though. I mean, you never know what could happen. Somebody just gets hot. And I don't want to say that they were an anomaly last season, because, you don't want to ever say that, but it's funny that last year they led the league in even strength goal scoring, and this year they're just not doing that. They're not getting the goals like they did last year. So I don't know. I mean, it's still a good team. You have Matty Beniers, you have all this young talent.
I think they'll get right.
Eventually, right? I mean, you have no other place to go. It's just that you're looking at Vegas, who's doing so great. Calgary, who's just imploding. Edmonton is imploding. Vancouver's come out of the gates like swinging. Colorado's amazing. Dallas is amazing. New Jersey, even though they don't have the greatest record, you're probably one of the best players out there playing right now in the game. Those Hughes brothers. All those Hughes brothers all over the place. There's 2 Hughes brothers in New Jersey. There's another Hughes brother in Vancouver. I mean, it's like the new Sutter brothers. It's like crazy. And I honestly, all those guys could play on Team USA. All those Hughes brothers could be All-American. And I want to see international play come out finally this season. I don't know, Olympics. I don't know, a Canada Cup. Something where we get international play. Because right now, America and Canada have got parity as far as forwards and defense. It would be so great to see that. And I don't know.
Would it?
Yeah, it would
I feel like
be.
it's a good way for you to get your feelings hurt.
No, I think you want to be the best, you're going to have to play, right? It's as simple as that. And this is the worst part right now is that none of these kids have had the opportunity to play at an international level. Think about it. Ovechkin's done it. Crosby's done it. Gretzky's done it. Lemieux, right? Going back, you have Esposito. You have Bobby Orr. You have all these guys. They've represented their country. This generation right now, Connor McDavid has not done it. Bedard just came into the league, but whatever. Austin Matthews hasn't done it.
Why?
Because they just haven't allowed it. They haven't allowed it. So, Olympics, they just ended up taking it away. Then all of a sudden they were about to go, and then COVID. So, I just want to see it happen, especially for these guys. They're the ones being robbed. Like, we're talking about now 7 seasons. Some of these guys have been in the league, and they haven't represented their country. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see best on best. I want to see hockey at its finest. And not to say that there's nothing wrong with the NHL, but when you get to play world,
Yeah.
like, come on.
It's the best.
Yeah. That's my rant.
Okay. I'll take it.
What do you think of the NBA opening up this season?
It's been crazy. Oklahoma City, to my chagrin, is looking like they might be primed for a good run. Victor Wembanyama whatever his name is a generational talent. I think just watching him play is something special.
Right.
So, good to see that. LeBron's doing LeBron things. Hopefully he can hold up for the season.
What do you think of James Harden going over to the Clippers?
What a disaster that's going to be. They're playing so well, and then you've got, with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and Russell Westbrook, and then you're going to put that cancer in there. I love PJ Tucker going to that team. I think that's the piece they need.
Yeah.
Just PJ Tucker over there. But just watch now, the DMPs for Kawhi and Paul George are going to skyrocket, and Russ is going to go off the rails, and it's going to just derail that Clippers team.
Man, I
can't see it going any other way.
I have mixed feelings because I think James Harden is kind of a cancer. But at the same hand, I mean, let's face it, what's the best that they had at point guard there? Patrick Beverley, I think, at one point there.
Yeah.
I can't think of another person that was that great at point guard in that Clippers team.
Yeah.
And so that, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, Russell Westbrook is at the end of his career, but you could say arguably so is James Harden, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Even what they traded for James Harden isn't great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Philadelphia didn't come out of that thing smoking. They got 2 first-round picks and some also-rans.
But isn't that
They didn't
funny,
get Terrence
though?
Mann out of that deal. They didn't get, some of the players they were targeting in the offseason.
Isn't it funny, though, that they still got first-rounders for James Harden?
Well, one of them was an Oklahoma City one.
Right.
And then one was their own.
So I'm just there going to myself, it's like, okay, so we're seeing
He
Kawhi.
still has talent. That's
Yeah,
the thing,
absolutely.
right? It's just
We saw Kawhi Leonard go
his
after.
talent is starting to overweigh his off-the-court persona and problems.
Right. That's the real reason why he's still playing, I think. That's the only reason why he's still playing.
No, they wouldn't put up with it for anything else.
Yeah, but having said that, though, yeah, so he's a bit of a cancer. He's a bit of a crybaby at times. But does he make them better? Like when it comes
If
down
he
to
wants to play.
that's the thing.
And the problem with James Harden is that you don't know if he wants to play consistently.
Right.
Because he'll be happy, then all of a sudden he'll be unhappy, and you don't know why, and then he just plays like shit and doesn't ever come back around.
Yeah.
And he wants to force his way. He's been on 3 different teams in the last 4 years.
I know, that's crazy to even think that. That's
All
insane.
on Supermax deals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy to
Like, when's the last Supermax player that was that way? Like, it's crazy.
That's crazy. And then you have Giannis Antetokounmpo and
Dame.
Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard goes off one game, doesn't do so hot the next. What do you think? What do you think?
They're still trying to figure it out.
As you know, this is just before the season starts. You make this deal, right?
Yeah. They didn't have a camp together. I mean,
No,
I think
exactly.
what you see from them when they're good, like that team is in a 7-game series.
It'd be scary. Yeah,
What do you do with that?
yeah. And I mean, they'll make playoffs.
Yeah. You got Chris Middleton, you got all those other pieces.
It's scary. It's scary.
What are you gonna really do with that team?
But it's when you see that, and then you see the 76ers, probably still one of the favorites, I'd say.
Yeah, and Boston looks so good.
Yeah, Boston looks good. Who's going up against Denver? Denver looks good coming out. Hey?
Yeah.
Like, Denver looks good coming out.
Yeah.
So, I'm intrigued. I wasn't so intrigued at the beginning when I'm looking at these guys crying for deals to get off their team and all this. But then, okay, so some teams suffer. Like, you know Portland's going to suffer for a little bit because of that.
Yeah. But that team is interesting though. They're in almost every game they've played.
The same thing with
'Cause they're
Toronto,
young.
too, as well.
Yeah.
The Raptors
Yeah.
are in the games. They're just not winning the game.
Yeah.
They've actually found ways to lose them when they're up. It's like,
it's fun basketball.
I saw Scotty Barnes get a triple-double there the other night.
Messed around.
you
Got
know.
a triple double.
little cube. I'm just intrigued. I mean, at least we don't see any team that we think is just going to run away with it besides Denver. And that's not through deals. That's not through trades.
Yeah.
That's just Denver built up the way they are.
Yeah. I agree. I think Denver's still the team to beat.
Yeah. Man.
I think in the East it's a coin flip.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if you just run off hot, you could have Philadelphia, you could have Minnesota, you could have Boston.
Yeah.
Any one of those teams.
Give it Miami.
Yeah. You can't even. You know what? Very true. You cannot count out Miami.
They might be
not
the Knicks.
Exactly.
I watched the Knicks play the other night and it wasn't terrible for once.
Yeah. It's
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, right? Like
know.
that's the thing about the East.
Like it's funny. Like with that Raptors season when we won the championship, there was a feeling, I'd say, right about Christmas time, that you knew that this was the team that was going to do it all. It was when they beat Green Bay. Not Green. Did I say Green Bay?
Wow.
Golden State when they beat the Warriors. And then you're there going,
Why not be the same color?
I know.
What are we doing here?
They beat Golden State, and you just knew at that point, it's like, this is a special team.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see that. Who is
See
a
that
special
moment?
team? Yeah, who is a special team? Right now, it's Denver until I see something else.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is. So
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end. You want to play a little one-on-one?
let's do it.
Okay.
1-on-1.
This is a fun segment of the show, kids. If you're not familiar, where Sean and I ask each other a question that we're not prepared for the other way. To see the answer, usually Sean's are crass and mine are well thought of. Sean,
Yes.
what professional athlete deserves a do-over in their career?
A do-over. What do you mean?
Like Jamarcus Russell,
Oh, gosh.
right? All the talent in the world, right? And you just wish that they had done better with their career,
Wow.
right? Do you understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah. Which player deserves a do-over?
In your opinion, obviously this is your opinion. Like which athlete, and it doesn't necessarily be a player, right? It could be a fighter, it could be anything, right? Like who, in your opinion, do you wish could have a do-over from in their career? Whether it be they got injured early or like they just weren't, put together quite right, or like you were just so excited for them to have this amazing career, and for whatever reason it got derailed. Like who deserves that do-over?
Wow. I mean, who Who deserves a do-over? So the first one that comes to mind is not even somebody. I mean, I was a baby really when he was playing, but Bobby Orr, because he had such a shortened season, really. The next one would be Mike Bossy. Actually, when I think about it now, I'm going to put Mike Bossy at the top because he was only able to play 10 seasons. Managed to played 11 seasons, managed to get 50 goals in his first 10. 50 goals a season in his first 10 seasons. And if he didn't have all those back problems, he could have probably played longer. And who knows what he would have been able to do. Yeah. Probably would have become the greatest all-time goal scorer of all time.
What did Gretzky average per goal? Goals per game?
Well, Gretzky...
Or goals per season, I guess.
So, Gretzky had 50 goals, and he doesn't even have... I think he has 50 goals in 9 seasons as well, but it's just due to longevity.
Yeah.
Where this guy did it 9
right
seasons.
Out of the gate.
Yeah, and was just unbelievable. So to me, Mike Bossy, I think, deserves a do-over. Yeah. You?
Bo Jackson.
I agree. That's, yeah. Absolutely. Would you advise him not to do 2 sports?
No, I want to see him do 2 sports.
Wow.
I think that hip thing was. I know that hip thing was a fluke, right? The way that it went back, I would love to see.
It's science now. Who knows?
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Who knows? They could have probably rebuilt him.
Yeah, I just would love to see it.
Yeah, great question. Wow, that was really good. I had to think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got one for you here. All right. So, if you could be a professional wrestler of any generation, who would you be? And you could even mix. You can mix wrestlers if you want.
I'd be Ric Flair.
Straight up, no. You didn't take a really heartbeat on that.
Nope.
So you wouldn't want to be The Rock?
Nope.
No. Why Ric Flair?
Longevity. Just the whole persona. Just like it was the fun era, right? Like it wasn't about.
Yeah.
It was about entertaining, and it was still felt like it was for real back then. You know what I mean? Like by the time like The Rock and Stone Cold and The Undertaker, like by the time those guys came through, the gig was kind of up, right? Like we knew that it was
right
entertainment. You know what I mean?
Who was better on the mic? Ric Flair or The Rock?
I think it's Ric Flair.
Man.
Because
it's hard to disagree with that.
Because, and I'll tell you why. You have to look at the level of preparation and the behind the scenes things that were happening.
Yeah.
Right? We knew so much more when The Rock was there. I think he's so good at delivery and all those things.
Yeah.
But like what Rick was saying was just off the cuff. Like he was just practicing that shit in the limo and then like just getting it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where The Rock had a little team and they were, same with Stone Cold. Like they had Vince McMahon had more of a marketing team, and was kind of helping those guys with buzzwords and phrases.
I think The Rock came up with a lot of his own buzzwords.
He 100% did, but they were they had more of a.
But once you come with it, then
they had a concentrated effort to try.
Where Rick was just
Rick.
Yeah.
Even to this day, still is Rick, right? He's still energy drinks and all kinds. I think Rick's the greatest.
I like it. Man, if I had to be a
Fijian warrior.
I love the Fijian warrior. I love the Fijian warrior.
Yeah.
I would love to be Hogan.
No.
I would want to be Hulk and Hollywood. I think
is that because of your penchant for ripping shirts off, or
in the beginning, but then the Hollywood because it's just fun being the bad guy. It's he used to win matches. Remember that? He never even wrestled. He just said he sent in the Wolf Pack. They beat the crap out of him. He just goes over 1, 2, 3. That's an easy night.
Yeah.
I just got to do a leg drop. That's it.
Yeah.
Act like a bad guy. Paint my beard black. And just have my...
For our next show, I hope you paint your beard black.
Well, Halloween just passed, unfortunately.
Too late. Doesn't matter. Kids, with that, we're all wrapped up for the week. Remember, be good or be good at it.
Righto.